Alright, so my name is Rob. I'm here from the MK117, and we are going to do our first air gun review. This is one of the first guns we bought. It's in the $50 and under price point, so it's pretty entry level. This is what it is right here. It's the MK117 variable pump air rifle. You'll notice right here, it travels 800 feet per second, which is pretty quick. It is a 177 caliber, so I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. I used the Crossman Destroyer pellets, and I'll show you just so you have an idea. You might not even be able to see it, but it's pretty small. But it's pretty lethal at the same time. So, got the gun out already. So, we actually own two of these. So this one we have it in black. And it's pretty nice. I find it to be pretty lightweight, pretty evenly balanced, and it's very comfortable to get in on it, put it right on the shoulder. Again, it's a pump action. At first, I found it pretty difficult to pump. After I got to like 5-6 pumps, it was a little bit difficult, but as I started to use it, by the time I got to that 10th pump, which is generally the number you want to get to, it loosened up pretty good though after a while. So again, it's 10 pumps. By the time you get to that 10th pump, you're ready to go. It did come with these two sight lines here that we put on. It took us, what would you say, Rick? It probably took us a half hour to sight this gun in or so, I would say. And then it was pretty accurate, I would say. It was pretty accurate with the sights that it came with. It was pretty accurate. It does come with a cartridge here. Let me show you. It comes with this cartridge. Oh, excuse me. So you can load 5 pellets in here. You get 5 pellets. So you put the pellets in, put it in. You can take 5 shots before you gotta restart it, which is better than a single shot gun, which many of them are. I wish there was a way to take more than 5 shots, but pretty good. It also does shoot your typical BB, and you load that in right in this hole here, then you lock it. And then there's a little switch here that you can just open up. And it loads probably like 20 or 30 BBs. And it's basically can be your standard BB gun. Now, this gun was great. Like I said, it was pretty accurate. I have killed squirrel with it. I've killed dove with it. It does the trick for sure. I decided I wanted to ramp things up a little bit, make things a little bit more exciting. Make a few modifications to it just to make it a little bit cooler looking, but also just to make it a little bit more lethal. And I'll show you. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the package, and this is what it looks like after the MK117 gets a hold of it. I got a few things here. First of all, I got this pretty sweet Bushnell scope that we put on it. It's a 412 range, which is just enough for what we need for the distance that this thing can be accurate at. Anything more than that is really unnecessary. So putting this on, and again, then it took me probably another half hour to sight this thing in, but it was totally worth it because I'm even more accurate than I was with the other scopes. And then this wasn't enough, of course. I had to take it to the next level and buy this pretty intense flashlight. See if I can get it to show on the wall over here. And I'll show you the box, but before I show you the box, I'm gonna see if you can get a look. Can you see the dot here? And the cool thing about this is I can actually open it up, make it wider. And this thing goes out 300 yards, which is pretty intense. you'd be amazed at how far that thing lights up. And I got over here, I got the trigger. Turn it on and off. Alright.
Talk about the different settings.
Different settings on the light. Yeah, the light's got some different settings. You can make the light brighter. You can make, I think there's 3 brightnesses, a low, medium, a high. It even has like a strobe light setting that you can see here, which is sweet because when you go outside in the dark and you put this on an animal, that thing just freezes up, doesn't know what to do. And just so you know, this is the light, if you're interested. ProTech. This thing was about $70, but it's functional. It works really well, and it really takes this gun to the next level. I mean, the scope and the light takes this gun. I think it. You know, if you're a beginner, this is probably a type of gun you're going to end up with, and I think you're going to be happy with it. But if you use it as much as I do, after a few weeks, you might decide you want to bump it up to the next level. But putting the scope on it, putting the light on it, I think I can stick with this gun for a little bit longer because it's made it a little bit more exciting. Having said that, I am researching other guns, so I think you'll enjoy this while it lasts, but you're probably going to want a better gun fairly quickly if you use it a lot. All in all, I really like this gun.
Talk about the pros and cons. Give like 3 pros, 3 cons.
Alright, pros and cons, that's a good idea. Let's see, pros and cons. Lightweight, love the lightweight. Oh, and you know what, there's another thing that I really should mention that I didn't. And that is, when you shoot this gun, there's almost no kick, no recoil with this gun. I mean, it's amazing. We've even actually begun to try and create an iPhone mount to put onto this so that we can video record our kills. And with this gun, I mean, from the moment I pull the trigger, the camera stays very steady because there's no recoil. So I love that
those
it's
videos
lightweight.
are to come.
What'd you say?
Those videos are to come.
They will be coming, yes.
On our channel.
It's very lightweight. There's no kickback on the gun. I really like that.
Price point.
The price point is huge. The $50 price point. Anybody can afford this gun, just about, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So I think those are the 3: the price point, the kickback, and the lightweight. Those are the pros. The cons would be, I wish it shot a bigger bullet, a bigger pellet. The 177 is cool, but Rick, the guy filming the video, he's got a 22, which is intense. But I'm at the point where I want to go to like a 25. I want to see what that's all about. So it does shoot a small bullet, but again, I've killed squirrel and I've killed doves with it, and that's really what I wanted to do. And so I guess it does that. So that's only one. That's one negative. What else? The pump. It
was difficult when we first tried it. It was stiff.
It was stiff, but it's not stiff anymore. But I would still call it. I would still put it in the negative category, and the reason being because when
a young kid would have trouble doing it.
They would, but also when you're trying to sneak out there to sneak up on an animal, and you realize you forgot to pump the gun, or you take a shot and miss it, and the animal doesn't move because it's stunned. It's not like you can get off a second shot real quick. You got to pump it 10 times, and chances are you're going to scare the animal off.
That is the nature of the beast with the pumps in general, though.
Right. So the pump, that's definitely a negative. And I guess the only other negative I think would be it would have been nice if it came with a scope. I would have liked that. I would have paid a few extra dollars for this gun if it came with a scope. Instead, I would have had to go out and get a scope. Luckily, we have other scopes that we have on other guns, so we didn't have to pay for it. But
talk about
What am I missing?
talk about like the MK117, what we had for Jake's gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that had the telescoping shoulder and the telescoping stock.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't. So it would probably get if that had a telescoping stock.
Yeah, would have been cool.
Pistol grip is a pro.
That's true. One of your guns doesn't have this.
Yeah.
This right here.
I have a typical hunting rifle.
He's up here, you know.
Yeah.
So it is nice to have that pistol grip. Trigger's real easy to pull. I like that.
It's a very smooth trigger for the price
Yeah.
that it's at. What about the rail system? That's your standard 9 to 11 millimeter Picatinny rail, Weaver rail. So,
And it's got, you'll see it's got a little mini rail here, and then a mini rail here. It's got some spot ups here, a little rail here. There's rails all over this thing for all kinds of little hookups, which is cool. So, all in all, I definitely would recommend this gun for a beginner. I think it's a lovely gun. There are some negatives, but there's always going to be some negatives. So I would definitely recommend it. As far as entry-level guns are concerned, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, again, entry-level guns, I'd put this up around an 8. Again, if it had a scope, I'd probably rate it a 9. And I'm not quite sure what a 10 would be. I'll know it when I see it, but this is a very good gun. I'd put it at around an 8 for an entry-level gun.